So welcome back. I got another video here for you on my project boat. So this, I am still working on trying to get the outboard set up right. As you saw in the last video, it was not running properly. I got it raised and I've been working on some of the tuning as well, trying to get everything set right so it doesn't stumble when I first try to add throttle and all that stuff. So I will be going over some tips as well. In the first part of the video, I'll start off showing you my first trip out this spring, trying to actually test it out on the lake. I did test it in the tank and everything was working great. So here's the first part. Out here at the lake right now. We're getting ready to go out, test this outboard, make sure everything's working correctly, and maybe hit up a couple fishing spots. So let's head it up. So I'm back here at home. Obviously, you can tell I was not getting any juice. The issue I was having, it looks like, is the prop I was using, the 3-blade. It was overbiting for the power I have out of this outboard. So I currently have it off, and I went ahead and painted to get it cleaned up. The other prop as well, so that it'll help keep it smooth in the water. It'll probably scrape away the paint like it did before, but got that drying right now. Then I'll get it installed. The outboard did give me a couple issues as I after it started to get warmed up and ran some, but I was also getting, because I was getting about 10 miles per hour, and then it would lose the bite on the water. It would start burning it instead and cavitating. It wouldn't go any faster, so I could never get off a plane or get on plane. So hopefully with the 2-blade that it originally came with on this outboard, I can get that grip back and hopefully get it up to speed. All right, I now have the correct prop on there. We'll see how she ends up doing for me. Here's the prop, all ready to go. It'll dry while it's in the garage for the night. Now your cam follower. I'm going to go ahead and go over this. You want this, if you can see it, it's a little hard to see, that right there, it needs to make contact with your carbs, the carb switch. Gonna be right there in the middle next to it. You want it to be barely touching right at about 7 to 8 degrees before top dead center. So that way, as soon as the engine starts to kick up, you're opening the carbs right at that time. It's not getting a flood of fuel before it. It's not getting hesitation after it. You want that timed perfect. I have found that it has taken me forever to actually get that lined up. But a good way to do it, I don't care what Google says on these lightning energizers, you can still get a rough idea with a multimeter. It's a definite with points. You can locate your degree markers from here, set it where you want it to go to, and be able to get it off of that. Well, I have found that it gives roughly right about the same on this, even with the lightning energizer ignition. So you put the red on your red contact there at the box, and you put your black on a ground point, secure it, and you can move your ignition to find exactly where you need to do it. Do it multiple times so it pings multiple times so you can get a really good position, and then set your cam follower to match that. Then after that, you'll want to set it to full wide open throttle so you can set your max opening for your carbs with the second plunger. So if you have to adjust the cam follower at all, make sure you adjust for the wide open throttle position as well, so it's not pushing on it too far or not enough. Now your carbs for your idle, you can do this out on the water. You don't have to take the top off or the wraparound off after you have your carbs initially set. If you're having little issues like it's not holding really good on idle while you're out on the water, little trouble starting up, anything like that, simply adjust your carbs to the left about 1/8 of a turn richer, and that'll help add a little bit more fuel, try and even it out in idle. I'm actually getting ready to go ahead and do that. So just a little bit. Again, down here. She was running good. She just needs to run a little bit better. And that'll help on the smoothness, especially in the cold. The idle has a little trouble, especially when the engine's cold and in the cold. Now, I have tested it on this hole with the 3-blade, and I held at about 23 miles per hour, but the foil was sitting in the water. I then went ahead and brought it that far based off of how deep it was in the water, and I was aerating or ventilating at about 10 miles an hour or so, 9 to 10 miles an hour. I switched to the 2-blade, and it held the load, but only up to 8 miles an hour. I then dropped it to here, but I only did the 2-blade prop, and it still held at that same speed. And then I moved it back here, 2-blade prop, still only getting about 8-9 miles per hour, but it's not ventilating. My best was right here. I was getting a little ventilation right here. I never tried the 3-blade right here. So I've already got my 3-blade prop remounted, and I'm going to move it back up to the middle hole. So the next trip I take out, I'm going to be doing the middle hole, see how it does. It seemed like I was getting more load with the 3-blade, which seemed to help with speed. It was just breaking away up at the higher mounting level. But yeah, I'm gonna try that middle spot, see what happens. Now I've added in an additional set of bunks on the front half here. And really, if I had thought about it back when I originally did the trailer, I would have had these run the full length, the full 8 foot down. Would have been perfect cradle, but this is to help stabilize towards the front, keep it from sloshing back and forth, because the pylons or the sponsons do come rather close to the trailer. So that's to help stabilize it, and then also just help keep it smoother as it loads and unloads as well. All right, so we now have her set on the middle. Switch back to the 3-blade. I've got my new bunks in there for stability on the trailer when loading and unloading. Showed you all the cam follower adjustment. I adjusted my idle screws just a bit, and that should help me out on the water, and we'll see how she does when I get her out next. Alright, so as you can see, I was still only pushing like 8 miles an hour. It looks like this outboard's just not gonna have it. It's just not gonna have enough oomph for the amount of weight I'm pushing and everything. So I've got my bigger outboard. It's a 115 that may have, based off the power or the part numbers, it may have a block that I can make use of the power ports with a rebuild kit. So we'll look into that. I do need to rebuild that outboard though, get it going. But I am going to have to drop it down a bolt hole to that second from the top, which seemed to give the best output for this propeller. So we'll see what happens with that and go from there. But this is going to finish out this video. Thank everyone that's watched it this far. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, make sure to hit subscribe as well, and you get notifications on my future videos. And I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one.